participating in this. This is what democracy is all about, and I'm so pleased to see you all here. I think Concord's best years are ahead of us. I truly do believe that. I'm 78 years old. I won't be around to see many of the projects that are in the works for a bit of time. But while I'm here and I can do something about it, I will try my very best. My biggest focus is on maintaining costs so that we have an affordable government. I am not anti-government. I want a government that we can afford, a city government that you can afford. And I want to give people a break on constant tax increases. That's my basic thing. There are some little comments, we talked about so many issues here. There's a couple common sense things that I just throw out. By the way, I was at Market Basket. This was after RDT had gone through that whole family mess and he had reopened. And I had gone to the one down in the Capitol Shopping Center, and I got and told the manager, I said, why don't you guys take over the Rainbow Buffet, it used to be the old AT&T office, and expand the building, put in a deli and so forth. He said, well, we can't. It looks like it's very, very large, but it's not worth our effort. But he says, we are looking at the unemployment security building. He wasn't kidding. That wasn't a joke. Now, I don't know anything about that. I haven't heard any more about it, but maybe RDT could be interested in the employment, putting the Market Basket up on Main Street. I don't know if it's a good idea or a bad idea, but I think it's worth thinking. The other thing, we're talking about libraries. So the function of libraries have changed. We can do some things about libraries that would affect a lot of kids. Kids are the future. And libraries aren't being used like they used to be used by children. They don't go and get books anymore. They're in there on computers. So if we have a problem with a library being overutilized or it doesn't have enough space, there's a lot of vacant storefronts in this city, all scattered all over the city. Why can't we put in computer libraries in these storefronts where there's no books, there's a monitor there, they're open from 3 o'clock in the afternoon till 8 o'clock at night, and there's computer stations for kids to come in and use. The monitor is there just to make sure kids aren't running amok. And, that's a very inexpensive solution to a library problem. And it could be done so easily. I see all these storefronts that are empty. So we don't always have to take the biggest and the most expensive approach to everything. Sometimes we can use a little bit of common sense and get along. I love Concord. I would love your vote.
I want to thank all of you for being here tonight. By being here, I know you're going to vote, and that means a lot. When like President Kennedy first ran for Congress in 1946, he was shaking hands out in front of a factory, and he went up to this one person to shake their hand, and he said, "Don't bother, I never vote." And the president who served and was injured in World War II in the Pacific said to him, he said, I've seen Americans shed their blood on foreign soil in defense of your liberties here at home. The least you can do to honor their sacrifices, go to the polls. So I thank all of you for voting. And speaking of Irish politicians, Tip O'Neill was the Speaker of the House from Cambridge, Mass. He went all the way to the U.S. Congress, became Speaker. He first ran, his first elective office was running for City Council in Cambridge. And he lost a very narrow election. And he was walking down the street one day and he saw a second grade teacher. And she said to him, "Gee, Tip, I'm so sorry you lost your race. It was so close." And he says, "Well, I know at least you voted for me." And she said, "Well, no, actually I didn't vote for you, Tip." And he said, "You know me, you taught me, my brothers and sisters, you know my parents, we go to the same church. You didn't vote for me? Why?" And she said, "Well, you never asked me." Well, I'm Steve Sherlock, I'm running for City Council. I'm asking you for your vote. And let me just close by saying how good it is to be here with both Jim and Sean, and of course the mayor. We can disagree without being disagreeable, and I think people at the national level could learn a lot from Concord politics.
Thank you. My comments brief. It's hard to follow these two gentlemen, but thank you for having me here. I love Concord. It's a soft place in my heart, and thanks a lot.
It really kind of goes to what I think my style is as being mayor. And again, I feel like very fortunate to be there. But what I try to do is really build consensus to bring people together. I clearly don't have all the answers. I don't think any one person has all the answers. But I think what we do is through great communication, through trust. We actually come together, and I think we share common goals. So I want you to remember two words that I think this election's about. It's about vision, it's about leadership. And I think you develop vision by joining me, I believe, in kind of the model that I have tried to entail over the past several years, and that is bringing folks together. So whether it be a downtown, or whether it be a road, or whether it be a community center, whatever it might be, is to really come together, decide what we want as a community. That doesn't mean we always get what we want. I can tell you, I for sure, I have not always got what I wanted. But I think that when we make decisions, we do it on what the common good and what everyone wants to do, those shared goals. But you have to hire somebody. You have to vote for somebody who can actually accomplish those goals. And that is where leadership comes in. And what I've tried to do is provide that leadership and make sure everyone's part of the process. Because you know what? We live in a great community. The fact that you're here, you care. The fact that we see people who turn out for meetings. We have numerous boards and commissions where volunteers come, spend their time, whether it be the Medical Village Association or whatever it might be. People volunteer their time here in the city because it's a great city. And I appreciate being part of it. But we do have a bright future. We have truly a bright future. But we're at it. And everyone will tell you, this is the most important election ever. Well, this is an important election because we've set the table to do really good things, but we have to go forth. And I've gone out and I've tried to meet with other organizations because we need to invest in economic development. And I'm looking out to the Chamber, to SIPN, to EDAC, all these other wonderful groups, and saying, what do you think? What is our vision? What are our goals? And then let's get down to what are the tactics that we need to employ to actually achieve those goals. But we got to do it together. So I need you, and I would appreciate your vote. I look forward. Win or lose, we are a great city, and I look forward to continuing to see this Concord thrive and be successful.